Callie's Take. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you can get the newest content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. The Clippers as a team right now, it looks like they're just starting to crumble before our very eyes. I know they're on a 5-game losing streak, and these type things happen throughout the season. You go through your ups and downs through a season. You got your winning streaks, you have your losing streaks. You have back-to-back games where you lose one, win one. You play Jekyll and Hyde basketball for a while, and then sometimes you hit an upstream, and then sometimes you just hit a wall and a downstream where you can't recover. And it just happens in the NBA. We all understand that. Anybody who's been watching the NBA for a long time or enough knows this is how it goes when you play this much basketball, which is precisely the reason why some people think that instead of 82 games a season, it should be less. It should be like 65 games a season or somewhere in there to make the games more meaningful and to put less stress on the players where they might be able to stay healthy or a lot longer with longevity and be able to sustain it. So I definitely understand it either way. But at the same time, I want to say this in regards to the Clippers. Their 5-game losing streak looks really bad because they've had games where within that 5-game losing streak, they had games where they should have won. I mean, I could say the one game specifically that comes to my head was, I think right before Christmas, I believe, was either way they played the 76ers and they were up by 10 or 20 points, I believe. And somehow they found a way to crumble and let the Sixers come back and win a game like that where they were up, they were in control. And Kawhi Leonard had a great game. He had like 28 points. I think he had several rebounds and he was playing really good. The plus minus is always usually on Kawhi Leonard's side when he's out there. It's always usually a plus when he's out there because he affects the game so much. But it's like it's like the Clippers, they're not getting the most out of all the talent they have. And I just believe that it's more or less the coaching more so than anything. And this is the reason why I've made this complaint several times. They need to figure out what they need to do with Ty Lue at the end of the season if they plan on keeping Kawhi and PG. Because if they don't win the championship this year, somebody's got to go. And I can tell you now, I can see Kawhi Leonard walking. I can. I mean, a lot of people can't see it. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Paul George either, but I mean, I just don't. I don't know if Ty Lue's ways and his stubbornness and the way he coaches at times is going to put them over the hump to win a championship. I just thought going into this season that they got so much talent. Overall, Ty Lue can make mistakes, but with all the talent they have, it would just make up for some of the mistakes that he might make as a coach. Because to me, with all the talent they have, it really doesn't matter which lineup you put on the floor at any point in time. They got a scorer or two within that lineup. Like if you put the lineup on the floor with Kawhi and PG, you got scoring, of course, and you got defense. If you come off the bench with Norman Powell, you got a scorer on there who can get you a bucket at any time. And you come off the bench with Norman Powell and Robert Covington, which they're not playing Robert Covington, which is very surprising to me. You would have scoring in Norman Powell and you would have defense in Robert Covington, along with Nicholas Batum, who I think Robert Covington is a younger version of. Then on top of that, you still got one of the best 3-point shooters percentage-wise in the league. And Luke Kennard, even though he's coming off injury, he still can knock down shots. Terrence Mann is another good young defender they have, which he's not getting the playing time I thought that he would. I mean, personally, I think him and Luke Kennard off the bench should always get, a majority of the playing time because the fact they've been there the last few years, they understand the culture, they understand the system that Ty Lue is implementing, and they've been a big part of it. And last year, when there was no Kawhi and PG, those two players really carried a lot, especially Luke Kennard, you know what I'm saying? So, and then, Amir Coffey, you could throw him in there. He played real well last year too, without Kawhi and PG being there. So, I mean, you could throw him in there as well, but it's like, I understand the problem that they have is having too much talent, but at the same time, having all that talent that they have, you should have interchangeable lineups coming in and out and getting the best out of these guys. And the one thing I see this year with the Clippers is Ty Lue is not getting the best out of all these guys for some reason. Last year he did, with the little bit that he had, and he worked, very well with the little bit that he had. But with all the talent that he has now, he's just not getting the best out of him. And, really when I think about the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016, until LeBron and Kyrie, did some miraculous, stuff in the finals, where they scored like 40 points every game, seemed like from game 3 all the way to game 7, they wouldn't have won that finals. And Ty Lue was the head coach once again. And this is what I'm saying. The way Ty Lue coaches is he it's like he dogs out his best players, and they have to turn to basketball gods to win, where it shouldn't have to be like that if you got a lot of talent on your team. And that Cleveland team had a lot of talent on there. They had J.R. Smith. I believe they had Kevin Love. They had Kyrie. They had Iman Shumpert. They had LeBron James. I mean, they had a lot of talent on that team. You know what I'm saying? Even though, and I think they had an older Richard Jefferson, which I never really been a big fan of his. But I mean, he was a veteran at the time. He know how to play basketball and do certain things. But my point is, they had a very talented team then, and it took LeBron and Kyrie to score 40 points from game 3 all the way to game 7 for them to win the championship. And one of them games, one or two of them games, Draymond didn't even play because they played against the Warriors in the finals. And my point is, it takes the way that Ty Lue coaches. He coaches almost as if there isn't no other talent on the team. I mean, you got Kawhi and PG, granted, but still, you're one game or two games above 500, knowing that the West is as tough as it is. You got to find a way to get more out of these players. And then on top of that, you hear, or you've heard probably, if you watched my previous videos, you've heard John Wall sound off by saying he's not happy with the minutes he's getting. He's not happy with the minutes restriction and the back-to-back things and all that. Same thing you're hearing about Kawhi Leonard, sounding off. If you check out my other videos and, before long, Paul George hasn't said much, but I guess before long he might be saying some derogatory or negative comments towards the Clippers and how they're doing things too, because it's like when you're hearing it from players like Kawhi, the best player on the team, and a star player like John Wall, it's a problem within that locker room. It just is. And I hope we're not seeing them crumble before our very eyes, but it's still early in the season, or early enough where they can make a recovery. They still got about half the season is seem like it's almost gone. I'll say it's about, I think they're about 40 games in or something like that. So about half the season is gone, and the Clippers are going to have to be a little bit more sound on defense and offense. And like I said, with Kawhi being in and out the lineup, Paul George playing by himself at times, or Kawhi's in the lineup and Paul George is out, regardless, that's not good because they're not building chemistry amongst each other the way they should. And then on top of that, when you look at the situation, Reggie Jackson, I don't feel like they're getting the best out of Reggie Jackson this year. And I think that's more or less due because of John Wall being there, and John Wall's not getting the numbers or the satisfaction he needs. And, it just seems like all the way around, it's like a domino effect. And then I thought they would be using Robert Covington a lot more, which they're not. And I don't know why, because he can knock down a three and he's really good defensively. He might be one of their best defenders on the team he might be their best defender on the team besides Kawhi and PG. He just might be. Because he's really that good defensively. And he's like a Swiss Army knife to me. He kind of like can do a little bit of everything. So it's like, I don't know why he's not getting the minutes like that. But it's just Ty Lue's going to have to do a lot better coaching, or otherwise his team is going to fail. And they're going to fail very hard. They're going to fall very hard. And if they do, the slander, if they thought the slander was bad in the bubble, it's going to be even worse this time if they don't find a way to get to that finals bare minimum and or win it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like what I'm seeing from this team so far. I don't like the way Ty Lue's coaching. I think that Ty Lue's stubbornness is really holding them back from being a better team. And I just think that the way that, they're playing all the way around is not championship basketball. And, hearing Kawhi Leonard, sound off and say certain things, himself speak on it and things like that. And other players on the team speak about, what they're not happy about and how things are going. That kind of gives you an indication of where they are right now. And they have to find a way to correct that, because if they're trying to win a championship, they got to build that cohesiveness. And you're not building it with naysayers on your team and within the organization. It seems like everybody is not all on one accord. And we know it's only one basketball to go around for everybody. Everybody needs to understand. Everybody needs to be all in. And I don't feel like Ty Lue has everybody on the same page with that team. And if the best player is not on the same page, or the star player like John Wall isn't on the same page, you got a problem. So, I mean, I hope they fix it soon. Hope they fix it, quickly, because if they don't, we could see another failing situation for the Clippers, and that would be bad. That would be really bad, even worse than the bubble. What happened in the bubble this time, because they've had several years to recover and put this thing together, and it just didn't work out. So hopefully, I'm wrong, and hopefully that their chemistry builds a lot quicker. Hopefully Kawhi gets to play a lot more, and hopefully they put it all together, man. Because if they don't, it's going to be tough for Clippers Nation to watch them go down that way. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, till next time.